Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the special Happy Hump Day before Thanksgiving edition of Encrypted Connections. I am your host, Kyle, as always, and tonight I have my good buddy with me. How you doing, good buddy? This is Bigfoot Lake, everybody.
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are all getting ready. I'm pumped. I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready for some turkey, man.
He's pumped. He's ready for turkey. He's ready for pie. He's ready for mashed potatoes, gravy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let me ask you right now, what's your favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving?
Turkey.
That's your favorite?
Turkey. Bring it.
Really? That's your favorite? Man. I'm going stuffing all day. Stuffing all day for me. And my mom makes she makes these potatoes, man. Oh God, they're so good. They are so there was this place here, a town over. It was a really famous inn, old inn on the water. It was called the Lighthouse Inn, and it was called that because there was a lighthouse right next door. It's haunted. It was haunted, actually. There was a lady who was supposed to be married there, and the day before her wedding, she fell down the stairway and broke her neck.
Wow.
And the ghost hunters went there, and she haunted that place. She walked those stairs every day and night. She was seen all around the hotel doing things and getting into stuff, probably because she was, upset that she didn't get to get married. I would assume either that or because she didn't get her Lighthouse Inn potatoes, because that's what my mom makes, and they are spectacular. They're so good.
Yeah, there's just some things that just jump out. Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's a couple comments.
Yeah.
First of all, that's fresh is saying the audio is jacked. So I don't know. Anybody else? Is everybody else hearing this okay?
Yeah. You guys hearing anything?
You can see us and hear us. Just put a 5x5 in the chat. And also, Hope Rising, we said it 4 times. We're not having salmon.
Bad audio. The Echo Men, that's what he's calling it. The Echo Men. Why would there be feedback?
Janelle says it's good.
Sounds fine. Glow says it sounds fine.
Got 5x5. Yeah. Maybe try to restart that. That's fresh. Just close it out and come back in.
Yeah, try that, buddy.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, well, let's go back into this real quick because there's quite a few people here that I did not.
Hey, Cons.
Carson, thank you for being here. Michael, Glow, Fresh, Janelle, Mr. Cans, how you doing, Cans? Hope, Hope, thanks for being here. Hope, I'm always happy when you're here. Cryptics with Bobby, Addie, Red Scout, JD. Wow, we got a good group here tonight. I'm pretty excited about this. You guys actually should be excited too, because you're allowed to ask us whatever you want tonight. And that should be fun. That should be fun. So I wanted to do the show for a couple reasons. The main one being, obviously, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. And both of us just wanted to extend our gratitude to everybody who is a part of this family. I say this family because we are part of the same family. At least I believe so. I think you probably agree.
Yeah.
And it's just been awesome. It really has. I count myself very lucky to have the type of people that I do who come to watch these shows. The fact that anybody would come to listen to me ramble about a big, smelly, hairy man in the woods is just crazy. I mean, nobody ever wanted to listen when I talked about my Uncle Harry before, so it's weird that they do now. But it's awesome. It's really exciting. So I want to say thank you very, very much. Nearly at 1,000 subs. Yes, nearly at 1,000. Like I said, at 1,000, you guys got to get people subscribed, man. It's still at about 60% who watch are subbed. So if that other 40% subbed, we'd be over 1,000. At 1,000, we're going to do the giveaway. It will probably be the very first Encrypted Connections merch. It will be the sample of the sample. It'll be the very first shirt, tumbler, hat, whatever it is. It'll be one of one. There'll be no others like it, no others after it. I think that'll be a pretty cool thing to do, because I am going to get started on this merch thing as soon as I hit 1,000. I got some designs already being worked out by the guy who's actually going to do the whole design for this whole channel, who did this picture in the background here, but that is not the actual. That's not going to be the design. That's something that he made just quick to give me something while he was working on his studio and sorting out some family stuff. But he's working on that and some designs for some merch for me too. So 1,000 subs, we're doing it, man. We're doing it. As soon as we get there, I'll do a random giveaway. It'll be for whoever's on that night of that show after we hit 1,000. Whoever's here, I'll enter all those names into one of those randomizers, and one of you guys will win something cool. Ollie is obviously very excited about it, as you can tell. Anytime he's excited, he sticks his butt in my face. That's how he shows excitement.
That night that you have your giveaway for your 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I would chip in something for your giveaway also.
Oh wow, okay, that's awesome. See that, guys? Look at that. So now we'll have more than one thing to give away. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll give both things to one person, or we'll give away two things. I don't know, to two different people. We'll see. But yeah, ring hole assassin.
The new cryptid.
The new cryptid. Ah, that's great, Fresh. That's great. Oh my goodness. So we came on here with absolutely no. I'll even knock the mic over. Stop it. We don't have anything in mind. We were just gonna riff, man, and go. Movies, food, whatever. We could talk about whatever. And you guys love to talk about food for whatever reason. And so, being that it's Thanksgiving, let's talk about it. Let's talk about food. We just mentioned that Bigfoot Lake's favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving is turkey. Mine is either stuffing or my mom's potatoes. Excuse me. I do love dessert, though. I am a dessert guy. And oh, hold on. Fresh has a question. What's your question, Fresh? Go for it. Um, while you're typing, I'll tell you. Blueberry pie, one of my favorites. My great grandmother's apple crisp. Oh man, it's such an old recipe too, and my mom, I think, is the only one who still makes it. I believe most everybody else who did has passed away. So my mom's the only one who makes it anymore, and it's stupendous, man. My great grandmother passed away quite a long time ago, back in the early '90s. She passed away, so she hasn't been with us for a long time. Let's see. Where do you see the channel in 1 year's time? Oh wow, that's a great question.
That's a good question.
It's a very good question. My hope for the channel is that it keeps the same family feel, right? I hope that doesn't change. I think that when things grow to a certain size, that can change, because then the more people that you have, the harder it is to continue to have that very close bond, right? When you're talking about 10,000, 20,000 people, like that's a whole lot, man. And it's very difficult to maintain that. Plus, you get people who who come and they go and they come and they go. And right now, we have such a good core group of people who are here constantly, and the ones who can't be here for the lives, they'll watch, whenever they get the chance, and they'll tell me like, "Hey, sorry, I missed the live." I always tell people like, don't ever apologize. You don't have to apologize for that stuff. Like life happens, and if anyone understands that, I do. I do hope the channel continues to grow. I hope that it reaches as many people as it can, and can help as many people as it can. We can help as many people as we can, and continue to do what we do and try to lift others up and all that good stuff. That's the goal. And then I hope that it gets to the point where, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but it's the truth. I hope that it gets to the point where it's monetized, where it's giving me back something so that I can continue to take that and put it into this channel. And what I mean by that is use that to be able to go places that I can't go right now, to do investigations. You know what I mean? Like I just had somebody ask me if there's any way I could come to Eastern Tennessee. Oh no, that was somebody else. If I could go to West Virginia and check this place out. And man, I would love to go. Are you kidding me? I would absolutely love to go. If I had the financial means, I'd be I'd be in my car going down there right now, or I'd be on the next flight there. But I don't. So that's a hope for the channel, is that it can give to me so that I can give back to it and you guys in return. Because if I can do that kind of stuff, imagine the content that the channel would have, being able to do things, going to different people's properties, and it would just open up a whole different world for this thing. And I think that would be amazing. I really would love to film a documentary. That is something that I have always wanted to do. And I have, a couple ideas. Obviously, the one is just an investigation style documentary of some place or some places that have ongoing activity, or history of Bigfoot sightings, like Whitehall, New York. It'd be really cool to do that, and to have, it'd be really cool to do it and have my friends in this community join in. How fun would it be to see me, Bigfoot Lake and his wife, Long Island Bigfoot, cans, all in the same documentary. Like, how cool would that be? Like, I just think that'd be the neatest thing ever, you know. So that's where I hope it to be in a year. I hope. I know it's shooting high, but why not, right? Aim for the sky, man. Aim for the stars. But great question. Bigfoot Lake, what about you? Where do you see your channel in the year?
Yeah, that was a very good question. Even though you and I have much of the similar topics, cryptids, mysterious stuff, we kind of go about it a couple different ways. Like your boots on the ground a lot of times out in the forest, and also you have a lot of guests on who you interview who are well, some of them are quite famous in the field, and that's kind of why I think the name of your channel is like perfect. It's the Encrypted Connections, because you tend to bring a lot of people together like that.
Thank you.
I kind of I don't see my channel as being like that, as far as drawing in people like that to interview. That's something that makes your channel special. I wanted to make my channel Bigfoot Lake more of like a place where you can come and just relax and listen to some stories. And that was the whole premise of the name of my channel, Bigfoot Lake. It's this mysterious place, Bigfoot Lake, where you can come and hang out and just listen to some creepy stories, on the shores of this mystery lake. Who knows where that is? Everybody has their Bigfoot Lake, but it's just a place you can come relax, sit back, and you know what? If the numbers come, so be it. But you are spot on. I've had channels in the past, and what got lost in some of those channels was the personal. Like, I can look at this chat right now, and I haven't really been in this. I don't know if you call this the cryptid community or the Bigfoot community. I don't even know what to call it, but I just want to say, all of you guys in the chat, all that's Fresh, Papa C, Janelle, all you guys, Hope, so many of you guys, Cons. It's like so many of you guys. I just come in and just like it was overwhelmingly just welcomed in, and it's like that was just cool. Not a lot of times in life where you can just be welcomed in by a group of people. And it happened here, and I appreciate that so much. So if numbers come with that, so be it. But that's the part you never want to give up, is coming into either a video or a chat and hanging with just some cool people who are there to support you. That's just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a amazing community. This one that we have is just so awesome, man. I can't say enough about it. I talk about it all the time with Cashew. It's just so special. And I talk about it with people who are sub to the channel who reach out, because like that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I did too. Was I wanted to make myself accessible, right? So if you need to talk, if you feel like you got something you need to say or get off your chest, whether it's about this, whatever, like, just reach out, like, because I know what it's like, man. I've been through the dirt, so I get it. And that's very special to me, that anyone would even have the trust to do so. So it's really cool. So thank you for all that, guys. We got some more good questions here. Hope. Kyle, do you have any update on your plans with the missing 411? Yes, I still plan on doing it. I just had so much going on with this other stuff with in trying to investigate those new places that I had out there. And then because there was evidence there was all those structures and stuff. I wanted to make sure that I got in and got as much as I could filmed before this holiday, because when the holidays come, it gets busy and crazy and all that stuff. And then I have these two other things to investigate with the couple that saw the female, they said, at Devil's Hop Yard, and then this family that's got ongoing activity at their house for years. That one sounds, I mean, it really sounds super, super promising. And from all I can see with the pictures that they have sent to me, it looks good. It looks good. So it will happen. It'll probably start sometime after Christmas, if I had to give you a time. Just because I do have interviews lined up for the rest of this month, like a few more. Then we're into December. And you know how that all goes. It's crazy. I am planning to get some other people on them. I've been in talks with a bunch of people, and just getting the dates lined up is the hardest thing all the time. So yes, I will be doing that. Let's see. Glow. Where would you guys like to go to investigate if you could? Oh man, that is oof, that's such a hard question.
I got one.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I didn't even really know much about this place until my wife kind of brought it onto my radar. If you guys didn't know, Lake Fairies, my wife.
Hi, Lake.
Kyle says hi.
Hi.
And she's busy getting ready for tomorrow, but
yeah, but bam, she's decked out up in here.
But I didn't know much about Brown Mountain, and she kind of brought that on my radar, and then we watched Fire in the Sky. We watched some other things, and it's like Brown Mountain's just one of those places. And then you watch Howyer, and you're just like, I got to go to Brown Mountain.
Yep.
Like, I want to find that cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that place is crazy, man. Crazy. That's a great man. That's a really good pick. I wouldn't mind going there myself. But I think for me, it's a toss up. And there's two, and these are two separate things. Okay, so one of them is not Bigfoot. One of them is paranormal. I've always wanted to go to Kentucky. Now I'm forgetting the name of the place. That's terrible. The old asylum out there. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name of it? It's slipping me, and I just had it too. Hold on, I have to look this up because I feel like an idiot right now.
That's not Waverly Hills, is it?
Waverly Hills, yes.
Yeah.
Waverly Hills, yes. Waverly Hills. I've always wanted to go to Waverly Hills. That place to me is for me it's the mecca of all paranormal that I would go to. Like, obviously there's other places that are like probably more haunted, but they're much more darker and demonic, and I would never step foot in them. Like I was talking to Al Santoriga, like Bobby Mackey's. Nope, never. You could not pay me enough. You couldn't give me enough. You couldn't promise me enough. I would never step foot in that place in a million years. There is no way. But Waverly Hills is such an amazing place to me. I've seen so much evidence come out of there that was just so intriguing, and so that's one. And the Bigfoot thing is so difficult because it's like, who doesn't want to go to Bluff Creek, right? Who doesn't want to go to where Patty was filmed? That to me is like one of the coolest things ever. Or who doesn't want to go to Whitehall, New York, to Abear Road? Like that, again, just one of the coolest things ever. Or to Pennsylvania, to where the Kecksburg UFO thing took place. Like just so cool. But I would have to say I would want to go to the Pacific Northwest and spend as much time probably in the Olympic Mountains, or what's the one that had the Mount St. Helens?
Mm-hmm.
Out there. Those are probably the two tops on my list. I think the Olympic Mountains and Mount St. Helens are probably the two tops on my list. Just so many amazing stories that come out of those places for so many years. Plus, the terrain out there is just beautiful. It's like a fairy tale mixed with Jurassic Park. Like, it's just so neat. So, yeah, that's where I would want to go.
Can I expand on mine just a bit?
Go for it. Of course.
Like, I'm going to really expand on it. Like, I want to go to Brown Mountain and experience the Brown Mountain lights, and there's a lot more there. But I would like to head from Brown Mountain due west, and just because that's on that 37th parallel, and I would just like to go cross country on that 37th parallel and hit all of those hot spots. Straight through, West Virginia, through Kentucky, through Missouri, through, even towards Roswell. That 37th parallel is like a hot spot.
Yeah, it's they talk about that in Hellier.
Oh yeah.
It's really so oh, good for you, brother. Good for you. Nice. Good bit of literature. Kyle, what about the Mansfield Reformatory where they filmed Shawshank? Oh, that's another good man. See, people can bring up some stuff and you forget all about it, and then when they bring it up, you're like, damn, that's a good one. Yeah, I'd love to go there too. Mansfield Reformatory. There's a bunch of places. There's so many cool places, right? So, because I love the paranormal stuff too. There's a place here in Connecticut. It's called the Mansfield Boys School or something like that. It was closed down years ago. It's on the Yukon campus, connected to it. Supposed to be extremely haunted. They've had a bunch of those shows go there before. You're talking about a place that's had abuse for years, man. Back when they did brutal stuff to people. Great. Oh, that's such an important book as far as that Brown Mountain and that area goes. That book is super important. But yeah, so there's so many places. Waverly Hills is just one of them that I can really think of. Eastern States Penitentiary is another one. Super cool place I'd love to go to. And then oh man, what's the name of that? Goldfield, Nevada.
Yeah, that place is creepy.
Yeah, man. It's like a portal. There's just so many spirits that come in and out of there. It's crazy. So yeah, those are probably my top three. Let's see. I think some of us know that there's one Bigfoot who won't eat Spam, not even in the woods.
I hate Spam.
Lake, we have to have another night with David and Sheepdog. My sides hurt from laughing hard that night. I didn't see that one. Sheepdog. Kyle, have you watched the new Monster 911 podcast yet? I have not seen the new episode, but I'll tell you right now, Monster 911 has one of my absolute favorite episodes of any podcast ever. And I've talked about it on this show. It was the episode where the guy ran over the female Bigfoot, and she referenced God in her Bigfoot language. If you have not watched it, it is episode 47. Please watch it or listen to it. It is incredible. If you do not get goosebumps, you do not get emotional during that episode, you are not a human and you are not alive. You're AI, you're a robot, you're the Matrix, you're whatever you are. Go back to where you came from. Just kidding. I love you all. Watched, listened. Yeah, so good, right? It was amazing. Those are some great places. Would you go to Brown Mountain during the times of when the lights are there?
Well, it's kind of random, though. I mean,
right.
I mean, I would love to see them. A lot of people go to Brown Mountain a lot and have never seen the lights.
Yeah, true. Glow wants you to tell them more about the 37th parallel.
Okay, well, let's just take just a second and look at the cover of this book.
Cryptics with Bobby just said, I have a book called The 37th Parallel by Ben Mesrick.
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you start over here, you're looking at North Carolina and the Brown Mountain Lights. As you go west, you go through West Virginia, which is Point Pleasant, where the Mothman sightings were. You keep going, you go through Kentucky, which is where Hellier was mostly filmed.
The Kentucky Goblins.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Missouri and this area. I don't know where the LBL is, but I think it's somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you guys know the stories of when you get out further west, Roswell and
Arizona.
Yeah, it's that 37th parallel, and it's not just the United States. You follow the 37th parallel around the globe and look at the stories associated with it. And this is what this book is about. It's just like an overwhelming amount of just strange encounters that happen on the 37th parallel, and whether that's a magnetic thing or it's just an anomaly.
Do you think? What do you have any theories as to why? What is it about that parallel? What is it about that line that crosses this planet that makes it so strange?
Well, just from what I've learned from watching the Hellier series, I didn't realize that even from Brown Mountain all the way in through West Virginia into Kentucky to Western Kentucky, there's cavern systems underneath that whole thing. And it's almost as if they're all connected in some sort of way. So I don't know whether the caves can have something to do with anomalies, but I don't know. And then was it Somerset, Kentucky?
Yeah.
If you want to explain about Somerset, about the veil's kind of thin there.
The veil is very thin in Somerset. That's you're talking about where where space basically comes down, and it's really weird how to explain it. So the veil is really thin between everything there, but at that point, you can actually see where space bends almost to try to come down and touch the earth. At that point, it's physically, you can see it if you're looking through the right thing or whatever, and they're not totally sure why. Something to do with the maybe magnetic pull or the ley line stuff, but there are all kinds of very, very, very strange things that have gone on there over the years. I mean, just a ton of stuff.
Yeah, it's an overwhelming amount. It's
it's almost too much to like try to talk about. The people who live there, they just know like that weird things are going to happen. They've come accustomed to it, and they just kind of accept it. Like, hey, this place is wicked strange. We don't know why for sure, but just a lot of weird stuff goes on here. And because of that, the people who do live there, a lot of them are there purposely. They moved there because they wanted to learn more about it and be around that the high strangeness that happens there. But to be in a place where you literally can see space bend to try to touch the earth, if that makes sense to anybody, that's a really crazy thing to think about.
Yeah, one cool thing about that book that Ben Mesrick wrote is it's got a bunch of chapters in it. I don't even know how many chapters. Well, it's around 30 chapters, and each chapter is like 4 to 5 pages, and it's like it describes an event or a a happening at different locations across that 37th parallel. So you can like you can kind of pick it up and read for a bit and get that story and then put it down. It's not like you have to keep, reading right through it. It's broke up really well. It's a good read.
Yeah, I need to read it. I still haven't read it. I'll tell you right now, I bring Hellier up often, but it's because it's so damn good. The literature from that movie is some of the most important literature, I think, when you're talking about weird stuff in this community. I think it's some of the most important literature that you can read. Everything from Aleister Crowley books to the 37th parallel to euphonauts and to the injured cold stuff. Like it's just really it's got some of the most Communion, obviously, by Whitley Schreiber, which was terrifying, just terrifying stuff. I don't even know how you continue on with life after going through the stuff that man did. Gosh, I don't even know. Crazy stuff, but yeah, that's such a good pick. Brown Mountain, damn. That would be a hell of a documentary to be able to go there and film over the course of like months and months and months.
Yeah, and you know what the cool thing is? It's like you said you would love to check out Whitehall, New York.
Yeah.
It's like that's our backyard pretty much.
I know.
Like I go there all the time. We go there all the time, me and my wife.
Lucky.
That's a place where a lot of people want to go check out.
Yeah.
But where you live, the Northeast, there's so much stuff up there that I would like to check out. Hans lives out, I think, close to the LBL, and like, who wouldn't want to go check that out?
Yeah.
It's like each person could host like a couple guys to come out, kind of show them around. That would just be so cool.
We could definitely do that. I mean, that's not out of the question at all. Yeah, I mean, that would be really neat, actually, if we could do that. We could go to, if you came out here, we could go to the Triangle, right?
Yeah.
Because that's probably the big one for out this way.
Yeah, I want to see the Hockomock.
Yeah, it's a weird place, man. It's just strange. And it's instant too. Like once you get into certain areas there, you just have that feeling. It's crazy. So, man, that'd be really cool to do that. And then to go up there to Abear Road, where you guys are, and the Adirondacks, to do a sweep through there where we could, because again, another region, another area that's got so much history and so much weird stuff attached to it. It just amazing. And then we're Kansas, yeah, for sure. Who the hell wouldn't want to go down there? Yeah, Cans, make it happen, buddy. Make it happen. Let's set this up. Let's get this. What can we call this? The trifecta connection. I don't know. We're just riffing. The topic tonight is whatever you want, whatever your mind can come up with.
That's fresh to ask a question about a book by Michael Talbot, The Holographic Universe. I have not read that.
I haven't either.
I'll have to check that one out.
I've heard of it, but I have not read it yet.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What's kind of been my new thing that I've been looking into a lot lately?
What?
I'll show you guys a couple more books that I've been looking at and looking into because I personally have a fascination with a lot of the lore and tales that come from Native Americans.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because so many times when you study cryptids, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skinwalkers, wendigos, those stories go back directly to the Native Americans a lot of times. And here's a couple books that I would recommend. This one's called Giants of the Dawnland, and it's you can see
Wabanaki.
Yeah, it's the Wabanaki Tales. This one's pretty good. These are stories told by the Wabanaki tribe,
Oh,
so
nice.
it's pretty cool. And then my wife, Lake Fairy, she clued me into this book, which is another one, and it's Nehalem Tillamook Tales.
Oh boy, I bet that's really good.
It is phenomenal. It's a really good book, and it's the same thing. It's stories told from Native Americans, um, the way that they told them, and a lot of their history, you start to lose it after a while. So these books are important, to keep their history alive.
Definitely. I am super big into it. I actually have been looking up quite a few different things related to the Native American folklore. A lot of it I've been looking up for this region mostly because I was trying to just learn more about this region's.
That's the Wampanoags.
The Wampanoags, the Penobscots, the Mohegans, the Mashantuckets, the Abenaki. Yeah, they're quite a few tribes in this area, but there's some neat stuff here, really neat stuff. And they all had names for the Bigfoot creatures here too. Every state, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, every one of them. The Abenaki called it the Genu, which I believe in their language translated to stick Indian. And then the Mohegans, oh man, I forget what their name was for it. The Mohegans and the Penobscots shared a name for what they were, which meant wild man of the woods or something similar to that.
Wild man is the one that I keep coming across in so many of these books I'm reading.
Yeah.
That was just like common across so many tribes. It was just the stories of this wild man.
Yeah, the wild man, yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just skimming through another book of mine, Ghostly Tales of Spirited Stories, and mentioned Bigfoot in it. Oh, okay, good stuff. Hope says, ooh, tours. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll start a company. We'll do tours of the creepy places in our areas. There's a lot of haunted places in New England. Tons of haunted places. Salem is right outside of the Triangle. It's like maybe another 30 minutes from the Triangle, 20 minutes, something like that.
I would love to check out Salem. Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Salem. Okay, I've been so many times. I adore that place. I adore that town. It is the coolest little town ever. The cobblestone streets, wrought iron street lamps, really cool little shops everywhere. Old buildings and architecture, old houses. The House of Seven Gables, the church. There's so much stuff that is intact there that has been there for so long. You cannot go there and not feel just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm standing in the middle of so much history right now. The cemetery, they literally have you mapped out on the walk, like some of the women took to the gables. Like it's amazing. And it's a really cool town. Like it's just really neat. It's very progressive. And obviously there's no other place in America that has a higher concentration of people who practice witchcraft, right? There are psychic mediums everywhere. There's witches everywhere. There's wizards and warlocks everywhere. They have a vampire ball there twice a year. It's a 24-hour masquerade ball for people to dress like vampires and act like vampires the whole time you're there. And I know to some people that seems really weird. To me, I'd love to do it.
It's just a celebration of their history.
Yeah, man. And I'm so fascinated with vampires. Like I've always wanted to be one my whole life. When I grew up, I thought I was going to be one.
We just watched Dracula Untold yesterday.
Oh, so good.
It's such a good
So
movie.
good. It's so good. Oh,
Yeah.
it's great. It's such a great way to tell that tale in a different way. Um, but to still keep some historical significance with it. And then to make it a movie that people want to go watch. It was really good. I love that. I love that movie.
I have a little bit of news.
Oh yeah, go for it. Let's hear it.
Well,
You're pregnant.
darn it.
It was an alien baby.
Yeah, you ruined it.
How that happened.
Lake's like, I don't know how that happened. Well, I don't know whether you guys watching or in the chat right now paid attention or not, but at the very beginning of this stream, this gentleman put together a pretty clever intro. There's things in there that you can find, and I found a bunch. I'm not going to give away all the surprises, but I'll just tell you, I went down the rabbit hole and I found some really interesting places.
You did, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So you guys need to rewatch the beginning of this stream, watch his intro and watch for the clues, and then go down the rabbit hole. See where it takes you.
Yeah, find out. See where it takes you. Some neat places.
Yeah.
Really neat places. I bet you places you didn't even know existed.
I can promise you I didn't know.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a good time. Making it.
I was every time I would like jump down one of the rabbit holes, I was like, no way, it's right there. And then I would hurry up and go to the next one because it's like, what's next?
Yeah, it was fun to make, man. It was really fun. I still don't think Cans got his. I still don't think he figured out what was going on in that. Did you catch that?
I didn't catch his.
You didn't?
No.
I'm gonna have to tell people at this point. This is ridiculous. I mean,
there's 4 that I found.
Okay, you found you, Lake, Cash, David.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I gotta look more.
Yeah, there's Kansas in there. Yep. And
well, I know where it's at.
You do.
I got it. I know where it's at.
It's different than yours.
Yeah, I was way different. It's not even
close. Way different.
It makes sense. It makes
way
sense.
Different. It's the one that probably just stands out the most, like of everything. Yeah, it was fun, man. I had a really good time making it. I'm gonna make another one for some other folks and some other things here soon. I've been looking some stuff up that I'm going to change it up. I think I'm going to change it up every so often just to try to get people to think. I'm going to put some riddles in it so that I tried to tell people too, like that this intro is not just an intro. There's riddles in this. I love that kind of stuff. Like little things that if you watch and pay attention to, there's more to it. If you just go down that rabbit hole, follow the white rabbit.
Take notes.
Yeah, take notes. Follow the white rabbit. You'll find some extra stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do some different ones. I got some other stuff brewing right now that I'm about to do. Change this one up a little bit. But I wanted everyone to have the chance to figure it out first. And I still don't think that Cash has figured it out because Cash doesn't say anything. Matter of fact, Cash is not here right now.
Yeah.
What's going on? This is the second day in a row. Cash's modem's back up and running. She did say that was good. She's back on the internet, but she's not here. That's upsetting. Usually she's the first one. Usually there's always a thumbs up right at the top waiting for me. What's going on? That's Fresh says coordinates. Yep, there's some coordinates in there. Let's see. I'd like to check out the metaphysical stories. I'm not familiar with that one. Are the Sanderson sisters there? Yeah, they were, and they kicked them out for filming a terrible sequel to a great movie. The new sequel to what the heck's it called? Hocus Pocus 2 was trash. It was, yeah, I did not like it, and I really liked Hocus Pocus, the original. Just like I told everybody, Halloween ended 10 minutes in. That movie should never have ever been put out to the public. If that's the way that they end that series, it's a travesty. It was my absolute favorite of all the slashers. Michael Myers was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy was creepy, Jason was scary, but Michael was the guy. There was nobody more menacing in my eyes than Michael Myers. And while it was so crazy, like he'd been shot, he'd been run over, he'd been burned, he'd been blown up, all these things, and like in your head, like there's no way this guy's coming back, but in the back of your mind, you're going, he's coming back. He's coming back. And you somehow could believe it. I don't know why or how, but you just could. And everything else besides like how he died and came back, everything else about it was realistic enough to think that it could happen, right? This guy was this crazy psycho monster, and he escaped the asylum and, went on a murderous rampage for years to go back to the town that he was from and the house and blah, blah, blah. And always on Halloween, that could happen.
And you saw him as a young boy.
Yeah, that was weird, man. That was weird. He reminded me of this dude I grew up with named Niles. We always thought this guy was going to grow up to bludgeon people. He may have. I don't know. I haven't seen him in years, but.
Is he related to Miss Dickerson?
Ugh, that smelly old hag. She could have her own scary movie. Her and Miss Highwile with her warts. Miss Dickerson, take your practice pillow and shove it.
So you guys in the chat, any cryptid topics or mysterious or strange topics that you guys would like to see covered on upcoming videos or streams?
Yeah.
Kyle's like me. We're always open to suggestions. If you guys want us to cover something.
100%. Shoot them out there. Let us know. It helps too, because it's difficult to constantly come up with stuff. Like
it really is. It really is.
It takes a lot of time, man. And I don't say this to like cut anybody down. Please don't take it that way. I didn't understand until I started doing this how much time it takes to have a channel and to consistently put out content. It takes a ton of time. I am constantly messaging people, constantly, email, Facebook, DMs on Instagram. I mean, just whatever I can find to get a hold of people to say, hey, would you mind coming on the show? This is who I am. These are the people I've interviewed so far, because I feel like that's important to tell some people, because some people would be like, who are you? You got 700 subscribers? Like, no. But then when you tell them things like, oh, hey, by the way, I did interview Ron Moorhead. I did interview, Jay Bachochin or Doug Hychek. Then they'll go, oh, okay, maybe this isn't some kind of joke. I don't say that as a flex. I say it because some people are just so egomaniacal, where they like, if you're not somebody who's like really big, then they just immediately see your name and they're like, I don't know who this is, and I'm not answering, which I think is total BS. I just think there's so many people out there that have so much to give to this community if they were only given a shot. So it just takes time. It takes effort. It takes And I'm messaging people over and over too. Some people, I don't give up. I don't give a shit. You don't answer me, you're getting another one. You ignore that one, you're getting another one. I will not give up.
Kyle currently has 14 restraining orders against him. I had to fill in for Cashew there for a minute.
Oh, that's great, man. That's wonderful. I sure do. Let's see. Caucasian Sasquatch. That's a great name. I have a question. What's your question?
Yep, it's there.
We're all looking for Bigfoot, but what if you find a pixie or a gnome? Who do you call? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Is there anyone?
We talk to these guys right here in the chat, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we could call my grandparents, the ones who were from Ireland. They were firm believers that the little people, the gnomes, the leprechauns over there, that they were real. I mean, they not. It wasn't like they're real. No, it was like they're real. Do not go near them. Do not tell me they're not real. Like they would get almost like angry about it because people thought it was a joke, and to them this was not a joke. This was real life. They exist. And for people who are so serious and regular real people to believe that thoroughly in something, it's very difficult for me not to believe. And then I've heard stories from people who are very reputable about weird things flying around them that look like a fairy. I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be really neat to find. To be completely honest with you, I think it'd be really neat.
Yeah, Hope Rising brought up a comment there. It says in Iceland they reroute roads because of elves. I was actually going to do a video on that. They literally there'll be a certain set of stones or rocks, and the legend is that they're inhabited by elves or something, or fairies or something of that sort. So they will literally reroute the road around this rock formation instead of demolishing it.
Oh, that's so neat. That's awesome. I love that. I love that certain cultures believe so much in their folklore that they are willing to do these things. I think it's just so cool. And I think the more, too, that you believe in these things, I think that it can add real energy and life to them. I truly believe that. There was a psychic by the name of Sylvia Brown. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She was really famous.
Oh, yeah.
She used to be on, remember Montel Williams?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Montel had the talk show, and Sylvia Brown was one of his regular guests. Well, Sylvia Brown was used by the FBI on many, many, many occasions to help solve unsolved murders, missing persons cases, cold cases. I mean, she was a certified psychic medium of the highest regard. I've read all her books. They were super, super interesting. But she said about certain things, like cryptid type stuff, she said, if enough people believe in something and truly believe, and they put enough energy into it, it actually can make that thing become a real tangible thing in this universe, which I thought was really, really neat to think about. I don't know how real that is, but it sounded really cool. Cryptics with Bobby. On my channel, I was going to mention autism and Bigfoot. I'll tell you what, you're going to want to tune in. I don't have the date set yet, but my good buddy Christopher Noel wrote the book, Bigfoot and Autism. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's coming on the show soon. He's just wrapped up his research. Things died down. The Bigfoots have moved on, or they're just not messing around anymore. So he's getting the stuff together, and then he's going to be on the show. We talk a few times a week. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy, and that book is really neat, man. It's such a cool take on.
That's cool.
It's such a cool take because I worked with people with autism for years, and the behaviors are so similar. Where like everything from the swaying and the rocking that these Bigfoots are said to do, to their affinity for like certain textures that they just can't keep their hands off of for whatever reason, right? It's really neat stuff when you get into it.
That's interesting.
Chris has a really cool mind. He really does. The way that he thinks is just really, really neat. And he's just such a nice guy. I can't say enough great stuff about Chris. I love that guy. He's wonderful. Michael DePaul wants to know, what's a rake? Bigfoot Lake. What's a rake?
Isn't a rake similar to like a vampire type creature?
I don't know. I've never used one before. I've been asked a bunch of times to go outside and get those leaves out of the way, but I just won't do it. Sorry, just kidding. Yeah, so I think so. Similar.
Some type of spirit creature like that.
Creepier even though.
Yeah.
What's she saying over there? Cursing out the turkey?
No, she's saying she couldn't hear her.
Your volume is so low.
The Valium? The Valium?
Like even standing right here.
No, I'm not much of a techie, and I got a new webcam. I got this mic, and it seems like now my volume on my whole laptop's low.
Really?
I mean, I can hear you, but I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually.
What webcam did you get?
HD 1080p Logitech something.
That's the one. I was gonna buy it today. It looks really clear. You look good. You look
Which is
good.
not really good for a Bigfoot, you know.
Oh gosh.
A rake.
It's like a vampire.
Like a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, brown dwarf. Good to see you.
Let's see. Where am I here? I was way back in the chat. What about a call-in like radio show once a month? That would be awesome. We would have to somehow set that up, though. We'd have to have one of those. What do they call them? That thing that you plug in to your computer, the interface thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that you could switch from call to call and have a line dedicated for it. That would be really cool, though. I mean, I would love to do that.
That's a good thought. Hey, it's your buddy Mike.
What is she saying over here? Kyle's the extended warranty guy that you never wanted. What's that about?
It's along with the whole restraining order thing.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna give up to hunt down Sasquatch, but I find a gnome. Do I need to regroup? When I ask Bigfoot hunters in an interview, they get angry, but I'm serious. Yeah, some people will get angry. I mean, I won't, but if you're serious, I think it'd be cool. It'd be really cool to come across and you're looking for the big guy, and then all of a sudden you come across this little dude.
Well, look at Hallier. I mean, they were talking about little creatures in the caves.
Yeah, those little buggers. The pictures, man, they freaked me out. They looked like they were glowing. And it was the weirdest thing. And I don't know how you would ever fake those prints, man. They just look too real. I don't know. If you guys, like, I'm going to keep saying, if you haven't watched Hellier yet, you need to just set time aside and go watch. It's so worth it. Rosen Island are built around areas known to inhabit these creatures. Yes, they are. That would be really cool, Bigfoot. Your video about Ohio freaked me out. I'm in C-Bus. Good evening. Good evening, Brown Dwarf. Let's see. Manifestation.
I think they're talking about the Sylvia Brown thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was way back. Yeah, I've read the Spirit Guides one. I've read all of them at some point. It was years and years ago, though. I mean, I was like a teenager when I read those books, but they were just so neat. That's cool. I think it's interesting. How my mom, nonverbal brother, makes similar sounds to Bigfoot. My brother and kids have autism. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Chris just had such a cool way of looking at this. I don't know how he ever got to the point where he had put the correlation between the two, but man, I mean, really kind of a genius thought that like there were these behaviors that were so similar. Nobody else ever brought this up ever. So
I've never heard of that before, but that makes total sense.
yeah, say what you want, but I think these are the types of things that we need to, we need the people who think outside the box and think of different ways to look at these creatures, right? And that's such a crazy cool way. Fresh. Okay, another question. What's the other question? What's the other question?
I haven't seen it yet.
Trolls. I'm talking about the toys that were popular. Those little buggers with the funny hair. While we're waiting for any more questions, you guys fire away. You want to know about our the worst jobs we ever had, the worst day we ever went on. Ask them, because this is the only chance you're going to get, and you got about probably another 25 minutes to do so, maybe 30. I'll ask right now. Worst job you ever had? Go.
Oh boy. The only thing that pops into my head is really good jobs that I've had. I mean, a lot of times the work has been pretty terrible, but there were good people there. And a lot of times good people can balance that.
Sure.
I've worked at some factories that have been pretty bad, pretty dirty, pretty rough, hard work. But like I said, you build relationship with people and you can overcome any of that.
Sure, yeah, I hear you. I've worked some pretty bad jobs, though, with bad people. I did construction for a guy who was just a real asshole. There's just no way to get around him. Sorry if the word, you don't like the term, but he was just a jerk. He was just mean. He was nasty. He was treated everybody like crap. That was pretty bad. But I would have to say the worst job I had would maybe be it's maybe a toss-up, actually. I worked at Jiffy Lube when I was in high school. Man, it sucked because, like, so I was the guy who was underneath the car who would drain the oil, and no matter how good you got at it, when you pull that plug, that oil comes out of there. It's hot, and it just goes everywhere. You get it in your face, you get it under your nails, it's get in your hair, on your clothes. And it permeates through everything. It's awful. On a cold day, you're getting hot oil on you. On a hot day, you're getting hot oil on you. I mean, it was a pretty crappy job, and we got paid next to nothing. So that was bad. But
Carson's got a pretty bad one there.
Carson,
like, really bad one. Hospital laundry from the OR.
ooh, that's bad. Yeah,
That's
good
bad.
Lord. Cryptics. I was a custodian also. The gum was not even the worst part. The worst part, and this is disgusting, so if you don't want to hear disgusting, plug your ears, was emptying the girls' dirty tampon containers in the bathroom. That was bad. I'm sorry. You girls are gross. It was terrible. And I was like maybe 20 when I had that job. Otherwise, the rest of the job was awesome, but that part was awful. I had one of those cool Ghostbusters packs that you vacuumed with, right? So I just put headphones on and walk up down the halls, vacuum with the Ghostbuster pack on. And then we do that once the hallways were clean. We put the chairs up in the classrooms. We only scraped gum in the summer when school was over. And most of the time there wasn't a whole lot of it because teachers were pretty good at telling kids not to chew gum in class. But once we did our jobs, we were usually done halfway through the shift with the work we had to do. So we'd go sit in the teacher's lounge and just watch TV for the rest of the shift. My boss was pretty cool. So, yeah, it was a pretty good job, except for that tampon container thing. That was terrible. Fresh wants to know your biggest regret. Yowzers, that is a deep one. Good Lord. I would say, oh man, the incinerator furnace for amputees. That's a real thing. That's nightmarish, man. We should do a whole show on that. That's terrible. That is terrible.
That's bad.
Oh God. I can't even think about that. Like, poor guy loses his limb and they're like, hey, what are you gonna do with it? I'm just gonna burn it. We're just gonna go make a campfire with this guy's leg, that guy's arm, Jimmy's thumb. Oh, that's got to be a terrible smell. Good Lord. Let's see. Worst regret. I don't know. It's hard. I don't like to live with regret. There's a lot of things in my life that I did that I would say were mistakes. But you learn from them and you change because of them, right? Like I said, I've shared with you guys before that, like, I'm in recovery. I lost years of my life to the disease of addiction. Years. I hurt everyone who was close to me in terrible ways. I ended up homeless. I mean, homeless. I had nothing. I was in jail, all these things that you could say, like, you regret, but people ask me all the time, like, would you change it? Would you go back and change it? And I think about it, and there's that part of me that goes, man, if I changed, I could have all those years back, right? To do other things with, but I wouldn't be who I am now. And I'm pretty okay with who I am now. And so if I changed it, things could be much different. And I don't know that there's still things in my life that I wish were much different. But for the most part, for me internally, I'm good with me, finally. And so I can't say I would change it, and I can't say that I regret any of it for that reason.
Well, whatever you've been through, whatever tough times you went through, whatever that path has been, the man that we're looking at right now, we like that guy. So that past and those experiences have helped shape to make you what you are today. So we like you.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. I really do. They truly have. I mean, when you're in that position, you got two choices, man. I mean, I fell 3 or 4 times before I finally got clean and sober, like to where I'm at now, where December 8th will be 9 years. 9 years, man. I couldn't imagine 9 minutes before. And that's the truth. That's the honest to God truth. I could not imagine 9 minutes being clean and sober when I was in full addiction. The thought of it terrified me. So when you're in that position and you've lost everyone you love, because they can't trust you, You are not who you are not yourself. You're not in control at all. When you're homeless and I weigh 240 pounds when I'm healthy, right? Between 230 and 240. And I'm a bigger guy, but like I just look normal, right? I weighed 167 pounds when I went into my last detox. I mean, if you imagine, I wish you could have seen it. I looked like I was dying. I mean, I was dying, really. And that's the other part. Like, I shouldn't be here. Everybody that I knew who did this then is dead. Everybody. I don't know anybody who was doing it with like around me then who didn't die. Everyone did. I don't know why I didn't, but I always have to go back to that. There's a reason, and that was when I felt that, like when I really felt it inside of myself. Like there's a reason that I didn't, that I made it, that I'm still here. I have more to give. I have more to offer. I have stuff that I can do to help others, right? When I really believed that, finally, that was it for me. I was done, and I knew it. It was just like this switch went off, and that was it. And yeah, man, I'm so incredibly grateful. I can't say that there's days that aren't difficult, because there are, but you know, I'm just too damn proud now of what I've accomplished to go back.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, it is, and I can say that I can't be too humble about it, because it's, you know, it was hard. It was very difficult. It was the hardest thing I ever did. No lie, hardest thing I ever did. Just nothing in my life has been harder.
Makes you appreciate the light a little bit better when you've been in the darkness for so long.
Dude, you know, I had to write a paper when I was at rehab, and I remember sitting there thinking to myself, like, on this one day, I couldn't figure out what to write, and I remember sitting in my room, and I was at this rehab that was out in the woods, and we had a lake, and we could go fishing, and there was a baseball field and a basketball court and a weight room and a game room, and like, it was in this beautiful area. But I still was not feeling well for the most part. And then I remember sitting there, and the day came where I started to like wake up from that, like where everything was gray, right? And then I just saw it all for the first time in color in years. That was what it felt like. It was like somebody took the TV and they went, boom, here, now you can see in color. And that's what it felt like. Like I saw everything clear for the first time, and I felt it. And like, I remember like getting emotional and crying. And it was probably the first time I cried in years, because I was so numb for so long. And I said it like, I feel like I just woke up and I could see in color for the first time. And yeah, it was amazing. It really was amazing. I remember walking around that place for the next 2 months, just like on my tippy toes with a smile on my face. Like, man, like, I can't even believe this. I just can't believe it. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Sorry. Anyway, we got way off track on that one.
Just real quick on the regrets thing. I won't take very long, but
no, take your time.
I think the biggest regret that, you know, I won't change any of my past or anything like that, because it, like I said, it shapes you. It makes you who you are. And, you know, there's going to be times in your life, and I've been through them a lot of times, when there are going to be people that you run into, even people who are close to you, who are going to hold you back. They're going to say, no, maybe you shouldn't do that. Or, you know, we're not really good enough to do that. Or you will be held down. And sometimes you don't even realize that's happening. When I met my wife, Lake Fairy, my life changed, and it's like, it's kind of that darkness to light thing. She does nothing but encourage me. It's like right now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I could start. I want to maybe I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel, but I'm nobody would watch me, and I'm not really good enough. Kick that attitude, kick whoever's telling you that right to the curb. We're nothing special up here. I'm a hillbilly from southeastern Ohio who moved to New York. I if I can do this, anybody can do this, and you get one shot at this life. If it's something you want to do, you do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Don't let somebody tell you that you can't do this, or how do you know? Just try it. Just try it. And that's what yeah, and like my wife just said, if it's something that makes you happy, go for it. Go for it. You get one crack. One crack. You look at your tombstone after you're dead. Somebody will walk up and they'll see those 2 dates, birth and death, and your life is that little dash. That's all you get.
Yep.
So go for it. Don't let people don't just not do it because you don't think you can, or because you've been beat down to that point. Just go for it. And you got plenty of people to help you. And I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about that job that maybe you don't think. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or so many different situations. My wife, she will encourage me so much, and it's just, and even my daughter. It's just phenomenal. Just go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Does she have a sister?
She's over half flexing.
My daughter's over there going like this.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. Yeah. Listen to Bigfoot. Just do it, man. Like, this life is so fleeting. I all of a sudden woke up one day and I was 40, and it was like, where the hell did it go? There's so much of me that still feels like I should be in my 20s, right? But I'm 42, and I lost 10 years that I can't get back. 10 years.
Yeah.
You know how long 10 years is?
Right.
I can't get that back. But I can take the next 30 or 40 and make sure that I make the absolute most of them. And this channel is part of that. I love this. I love this. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to meet great people like you and Lake and Cash and so many people who are in the chat right now. Just like, it's just amazing. So yeah, I agree 100% with what you're saying. And you're a lucky man. You're a lucky man.
Really am. Really. I'm blessed. Yes.
You are. You're a very lucky man. That's huge. And let me say this, and I should probably follow my own advice. If the person you're with is not concerned with you being happy, if they're not encouraging you to do the things that make you happy, you're probably not with the right person.
It's the truth.
And again, I should probably follow my own advice. I can think more. Let's see. I missed a couple questions. How tall are you both? Okay. I'm the shorter of us. There's a reason he's called Bigfoot. I'm like 6'2.5", 6'3", somewhere in between there, depending on who's measuring.
That's pretty tall.
Yeah, you're bigger than me though.
I'm 6'5". That's not nothing extraordinary.
6'5" is a big guy. That's a big dude, and he wears a size 55 shoe.
Well, let me show you something. Here's my slipper.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh man, Carson's got a great question. What are each of your biggest absolute fears? I don't even have to think about this. I already know mine instantly. I am terrified of flying and terrified of heights.
I'm right there. I'm exactly the same. And I don't know what it is. The older I get, the worse it gets. I
Yeah,
used to not be afraid of heights.
me neither.
I don't know
Me
what it
neither.
is.
I used to work on roofs, houses, and like, 50
Same.
feet, 60, 50 feet in the air, like, your backyard would drop off on a 12 pitch roof, and it was, a 3-story house, and you're looking down, and I'd stand up there. We wouldn't be harnessed in or nothing. I'd be reaching over, grabbing bundles of shingles off the wall, like nothing. Now, no way, bro. No way. Nope. I get so nervous. Depends on what it is. Um, though, like certain things I'm okay with, but I can't. I hate flying. I hate it. It's the worst. I'm so scared of flying. My worst fear is dying in a plane crash. I'm also scared of. This is a very random thing. I think I'm also scared of the like being in the ocean in deep water that's too dark to see what's below you.
That's pretty. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Where you just want to pull your feet up inside you. Like
Hmm.
you can't get them high enough in the water. You're just constantly like,
You know what? Something that I think when I found this out, I thought this was both the coolest and the most terrifying thing I've ever heard. When they started screening Jaws for one of the first few times, they showed it on a screen on like a beach, and they had the people on rafts out in the water watching this. It's like, nope, couldn't do it.
nah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That, that's amazing.
yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, that movie. Talk about like setting a primal fear in you. Uh, After that movie, it was very difficult to get in the water. It was it was super hard, man. Everywhere I went, every beach I went to for a long time, I thought there was a giant rogue great white shark that was going to come chop my limbs off from below. But
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me ask you this.
mm,
I'm gonna do this a little different. Using that same scenario, what was your biggest fear as a child?
oh, you can't ask me that because when I was a child, I was really, really. I had a lot of I had a ton of PTSD. Like so. Um, So when I was really little, we lived in a really really rough area, like really rough. Uh, when I was 4 years old, I remember sitting in the living room, which went from the living room directly into the kitchen, wide open. Right, my mom was washing her hair in the sink. I was sitting on the rug in front of the TV. I remember this. I was watching Swamp Thing.
Great
Um,
movie.
Great movie. Um, and I saw this guy. We had a back door, and the back door went out onto just this really small, like um, I don't even know what you would call it. You walked out the back door. It was covered over, and there were just 3 steps down to the ground. Right, so it was just this little tiny area. But there was a guy in that area, and he was cutting through the screen door with a giant knife because the screen door was what was locked. The big door was open, and my mom couldn't see because she had her head in the sink. I remember saying something to her, and she lifts her head up, sees the guy, screams. She's only in her robe. Then he's trying to get his hand in and open the door. She screams, comes, grabs me, starts to run up the stairs. My dad comes running down the stairs in his tighty whities. He was upstairs getting ready for work. My brother was literally a newborn in his crib. Comes down the stairs with a bat and chases the guy 2 blocks with this bat. And so the guy was not there to rob us. He was there to rape my mother. He was a serial rapist, and that's what he was there to do. We found that out after the fact. So there was that. And there was another time 2 guys tried to push the front door in violently. Thank God my dad fought them off. There was a bunch of other stuff that happened too, plus the stuff with my father, like abusive stuff. Like, so I was a mess when I was a kid. I was so scared of so many things, man. Like, I just had PTSD. Like, I was afraid. Yeah, imagine being a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid, and like one of your biggest fears is the world's gonna end. Like, that's how messed up I was.
That's heavy. Yeah.
It's heavy. So I don't know that I really can answer that because there was just too much. But what was yours?
Well, growing up, I was a huge Flash Gordon fan.
Okay.
And as a child, I thought this was going to be a much bigger problem in life. As I was growing up, I was terrified of quicksand because it's like every movie you watch, somebody was sinking in quicksand. I thought, man, this is going to be a real problem in life. Turns out not so much. Terrified of quicksand.
Oh man, that's good. This is going to be a real problem in life. That's wonderful. Man, now that you bring it up, it's true.
Every movie we watched as a kid.
Scooby-Doo,
yeah.
Every cartoon that was like, not the quicksand again. Oh man, yeah, you're right. I was afraid to step on anything that resembled mud.
Yep. And
have you ever actually been in quicksand?
I've never seen quicksand in my life. I
saw it once.
Like I've been lied to.
No, I saw it once, and it's the real deal. It's the real deal. They like, it was after a major like flooding or whatever, and it was scary. It did exactly what it did, like in the shows and the movies. It started to swallow up a couple of people that we knew. It was crazy. You had to toss something to them and pull them. It was crazy, man. But yeah, and that was the only time, and that was probably like a 1 in a million type of thing ever. Like, never ever saw it before or after that. It's just going to be a real problem in life. Shouldn't they send us to some kind of training for this?
Feel totally unprepared for this.
That's wonderful. Oh gosh, that made my night, man. Oh man.
But tomorrow, listen. Tomorrow, even if you don't have a lot of family that's going to be around, maybe you got, who knows? Maybe you got just your brother or your sister. Maybe you're lucky enough to have your mom, your dad, kids. Mm-hmm. Just take that time and just be thankful for them. And even if you don't have family you can hang out with, even if your family, like my wife said, even if some of them is a pain in the ass, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And even if you don't have that physical family there with you, you got a family here. You got friends here.
Yep.
So you're not alone. We're all we all got to look after one another, and we just got to be thankful for each other. And that was, like I said when I stream first started, I'm thankful that I didn't even know you guys a couple months ago, and I was lucky enough through Cashew to get introduced to this gentleman here, and we've known Cashew for a long time, but it's just like a whole nother group of people, and you guys are awesome. And it's that's right, Janelle. Family's not always blood.
Oh, amen.
And then on the other part of that, there's a lot of people potentially that live near you, maybe across the street, maybe next door, who have nobody. And we have a gentleman who lives across the street who's a a vet, and his wife is still there. But many of these guys, they have nobody.
Yep.
Take that time and be there for them. Invite them over for dinner, or just show up over there and bring a plate, or
Yep.
whatever. Just how about you just show up over there and knock on the door and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yep.
It's just a day to be thankful, and you could make somebody's day, literally, and you can save lives by doing that.
You absolutely can. You know, my grandmother used to say this all the time. Costs nothing to be kind.
That's it.
Costs nothing to be kind, and it could totally change someone's day, and that changing their day could change their life. It sounds, kind of corny, but it's the truth. You don't know the impact that you can have on somebody just by something so simple. I want you to think about it like this. When you go out into public and say you're going to a store and you walk by somebody you don't know, and that person looks at you and says, "Hey, how you doing?" Does it not feel good? Right? It does. It feels so good. Like you don't know them, and they say, "Hi, how are you? How's your day? How you doing?" That little thing that costs them nothing, just a couple seconds, can make you feel so good. Now imagine how it can make somebody feel who has nobody, who doesn't have anything anymore. I had people give me a lot of crap because the panhandlers and stuff, they're like, oh, they're probably going to spend it on drugs. Well, maybe they are, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're really out there because they don't know what else to do. It's very difficult to get help. They don't make programs known to people who have mental health issues. They really don't. It's very difficult. And somebody who has mental health issues probably doesn't have a car to get to these things, and they don't know how to traverse those issues. And most of these people who are drug addicts, 85% of them also have an underlying mental health issue. So I give these guys money, and I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. I'm a regular guy, but I give it to them because, when I have it or when I can. I'm not saying I give them $50 or anything like that. No, but it's the intent, right? My intent is good. I'm giving you this because I want help. If you don't do something good with it, well, that's on you. But maybe that thing that I did will get that person a meal for the day. And that will give them one more day to try again. And then maybe that next day is the day that it clicks, that something works. You just never know. You just never know. And, those little things, it gives you hope in humanity, man. Just people saying, hello, how you doing? Nice to see you. Holding the door, little things like that. But what you said, if you know somebody who has nobody and they're alone, reach out. Just reach out to them. Go have a conversation with them. I mean, imagine sitting alone every day. No family left. That's just got to be so sad. If you know somebody like that, definitely make an attempt. Make an attempt. What's 30 minutes out of your day? What's an hour out of your life to change somebody else's? So worth it. So worth it. I don't know. I'm so glad you said that because it's so important, and there's so much of that lacking in this world right now. It really kind of hurts me to think about, but
yeah. It's you have the power to change somebody's day with your love, but you also have the power to wreck somebody's day with the opposite.
And the other part of this, Carson says, be polite, have manners, be kind, and help others without judgment. Amen. Yep, that's it right there. the other part of this is when you do something nice for somebody else, you feel good. You feel good. So you that's why we talk about this, like everything working and everything and everyone working together, right? When people do good and spread love, right? It works in so many different ways. It comes back around and around and around and around, and it spreads and it spreads, and it's just like, man, it's really amazing. It's really amazing. I'm right here with the quicksand. I remember planning I was going to reach for a branch or a vine and practice moving at a microscopic speed. That's it. That's it. That is comment of the night. Oh man, what if there was no branch or vine?
I have a story that
Pope asks Miss Trey any encounters with it.
that's
Oh, go
classic.
ahead.
Right
You
there.
have, what do you have a story about?
No, I actually have a story that I was going to work on about a Bigfoot encounter involving quicksand.
No,
So-
you don't.
Oh, yes, I do. I'll probably do a video of it. Yeah, it'll just be one of those stories that I'll tell at Bigfoot Lake.
I can't even believe this.
It's legit.
Where did you find this? This is something fake. Look at, do you carry an emergency twig?
You guys are awesome.
What a way to end the show, guys. This was great, man. You carry an emergency twig. I can't. Oh God. Oh man.
That's hilarious. That's fresh.
I bet you Chad Hurley is prepared for quicksand.
Yes.
How long did it take you to escape the quicksand on average? There's always a branch or limb in every movie.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is why I say that sometimes just riffing, like the things that come up. This is great.
It's good to laugh. Yeah.
It's so good to laugh. All right, well, I'm gonna end this. These guys over Lake's over here working their butt off on Thanksgiving, and we're just having we're having a good old time on here laughing about quicksand and twigs. Listen, guys, thank you for coming on tonight, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, and it's a privilege.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to have you on. I always have a great time. You guys, listen, thank you so much for being here. As usual, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you're spending it with people that you love, and you have a great time tomorrow. Like we said, if you have the chance to do something for somebody to brighten their day, I encourage you to do it. What are you smiling at?
Miss Trey's new comment. You think they're really made for walking? No quicksand.
Oh man, you get the gold stars tonight.
You get 10 bonus points. The points mean nothing, and they're just
they're not redeemable anywhere. But they sure did make me laugh. That was great. So, like I was saying, have have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Make sure that you have a twig, a branch, or a vine handy in case you come in contact with some quicksand on your way to your relative's house to have your turkey stuffing and mashed potatoes.
Remember, microscopic.
Microscopic movements. Exactly. Very, very, very slow. Have a wonderful day. We love you. We are so grateful for you guys. And I can't, there's just not enough words for me to even say to express that gratitude. But I'll try. I'll continue to try. And I hope that we brightened your day a little bit today. If not, well, too bad. Anyway, have a great night. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll see you on the next one. I don't know when that'll be. Might be next week. Might surprise you. It might be this weekend. Who knows? In the meantime, I love you all. Have a great night. Until the next one, everybody. See you later.